Oi, feeling your trousers, Simeon.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
nice. Let me just
like black combat. Are they
the camo?
Camo,
Nice.
Just suck in the belly because I didn't have my heels.
Are they a bit felty?
Not really. Maybe just because I've washed them.
I love how you're doing a fashion show for like an audio audience.
I know, right? I know you guys can't see, but I'll send pictures. Pictures are on my Instagram, Simeon.Sims.
No, we can paint a picture with words.
Mm-hmm.
They're like camo, but they're both the same colour.
Yeah.
But they're different types of fabric and different textures.
Mm-hmm.
I would use the word steezy.
Steezy.
Who's skeezy?
Steezy. With a
Sleazy?
T.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Is that a combo?
Steezy is good.
What's steezy?
It's just like, cool.
It's like breezy.
And who knows of this word? Just you?
Nah, loads of people. I think it's style with ease, in fact. It's the merge.
Oh, okay.
I hate it when they merge words.
Okay. Do you? Why?
Purely because I don't know what they mean most of the time.
Steezy.
I don't know most
You've never heard
slang.
steezy? You've heard of steezy, Chris?
No.
I think that must be like the 90s.
Sometimes you get these slangs from different parts of London. You're like, I never knew that wazzock was another word for plonker.
Wazzock?
Exactly.
What's a wazzock?
Exactly. So, like, I heard
That's
that
not
used once.
slang. The youth don't use the word wazzock, I don't think.
I don't think they do.
So no one's heard of wazzock. I heard it once on a show, and that was it.
Trident aren't being like, like, this is code word for for an enemy.
We're still mixing words, and
I mean, they do. It's just we're older now, and we're not involved in that.
But I hear words that like we normally use, but then they just use it in different contexts, like wet, and I'm like, I beg your pardon.
Wait, what does?
I think it's just like shit.
I would say if someone's wet, then it's like.
I thought either being in the rain or being turned on.
Or in the bath. I love a bath.
Yeah.
They actually physically being wet. That's how I relate.
Or like, like a wet flannel is like someone that maybe is like, a bit like limp and not really, doesn't really want to go out, or like, yeah.
So when you've got a younger sister saying that you want to pinch them real quick and be like, please explain, you have 10 seconds, go.
I do that as well, and I'm around kids a lot for work. So whenever they say stuff, I'm like, what does that even mean? I asked my colleague's son, what does yeet mean? And I still don't understand.
Yeet.
Still don't understand.
What is it?
Maybe they missed a letter or two. Like yeast.
No, I've had more than one child say that.
I've seen that as well.
Is it not? That's more of a just like a sound of like.
I don't know, but we've already done an episode on this, me and you.
Is it like skeet?
I don't know. We already discussed this on the episode. We were talking about how old we are and how we don't understand the youth of today.
Amens to that.
Like wazzock.
Or what?
Wazzock. Come on, guys.
Whatever happened to plonker? Like, everyone knows what plonker
That's
means.
such an East London sort of expression.
From East
How
London.
do you guys think you would fare like if you had to like go back into high school, like because you're a cop and like pretend like you were a.
Oh mate, I would have gotten
Did
bullied
you
to death.
recently see that film?
21.
21. Do you think you'd be good in 21 Jump Street?
I think I could go back as a kid. I would start doing things a little bit like I would start saying things to freak people out, like this cake is moist, isn't it? This lesson is proper moist.
I think I'd probably get like because bullies are really bad now, aren't they? They like beat the crap out of people and kill people.
What,
don't
they did
know
it
that.
before?
I didn't know it. I just started watching Stranger Things and realised, oh my god, these bullies are really bad. They have a
That's
knife
not a
and everything.
documentary.
But then I talked to a friend about it and he was like, yeah, no, that happened to me in the Midlands. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, in the middle. Okay.
I think it's worse with the digital age. Like back in the day, you knew where a bully was if he was.
Yeah, the bullies stayed at school. Now they follow you home.
True,
Yeah.
which is dangerous.
Yeah.
Being a kid nowadays would probably suck, I reckon.
I couldn't go back. I didn't even go there the first time, so what the hell would I be doing going back?
True, neither did I.
I was just at school.
As in, I skipped school a lot.
I was there. After 5 years, I was there too.
My attendance was at like 75-80%. The thing is, in my school, if you got registered for the first lesson, registered for the last lesson, that means that it shows that you were there all day.
Yeah.
What they don't take into account is the fact that I missed all the lessons in between.
Sometimes I didn't even miss registration. I just really didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't get kicked out.
So am I. Part of the time, my parents found out and they called in and was like, oh yeah, she was sick.
Okay.
Because they didn't want to get in trouble, get me kicked out.
Luckily, my voice was even higher than it is now, so I used to just pretend to be my mum and be like, yes, he was sick.
Why did you go to school?
I just hated it. I hated the people. I hated the teachers. I didn't like the lessons.
See, I didn't mind that. It's just I didn't learn anything from there. Like everything was taught out of the
because
textbook.
you wasn't there.
No, I still did reasonably well. Everything was taught out of the textbook that you had to buy at the beginning of the year anyway. So
You had to buy your books?
like there were some books, revision books and stuff that you had to buy, like my parents bought for us. But yeah, everything was taught out of that anyway. So most of the time I didn't need to go. When I went, I did my work fine. I handed all my shit in.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I graduated, right? Yeah,
Not bad.
I was fine.
Yeah.
These delinquents, man.
I was a scaredy cat.
Rubbing off on you.
I went to all my lessons.
I used
was
to
a good
get
little
kicked
boy.
out for not doing my homework at course. Like I used to walk in, I'd be like, Simeon, you done your homework? Nope, here's your referral slip, thank you.
No, I think that's the reason I
just
didn't
walk
get
out.
into trouble is because I still did my work. I might not have gone to lessons, but I still did my
You
work
had the
well.
grace to like be like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
she's doing well. We've only
Yeah, everyone else basically in my school was shite. Everyone was shit. They all went to class. They didn't do fuck all. Whereas I didn't bother going to class because I did fine.
Okay.
It was probably better for me not to go to class.
Chris stole a slinky from his science teacher once.
My big rebellion back in high school.
Oh, bless.
Nah.
The stinker stuck with me ever since. So.
I remember when I was in like year 3 or 4, I started stealing. I
I
started.
thought you were going to say stalking. I was like,
I was about to. I was like, no, I need to rethink this.
I mean, stealing.
I started stealing like little bits of chalk from school, and I don't know why. And then one day I got caught,
at
and
least
then
still something that doesn't make mess.
I mean I still steal things. It's just things that no one cares about,
Yes.
like decorations when you go to places.
I got banned from. Remember Virgin Megastores?
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, what am I doing?
What did you
I got
steal?
banned from there for stealing some headphones.
Okay.
It was like some serious thing where a guy from I walked out and the guy from the shop came out and like.
Oh, no.
It was like that episode of The Simpsons. He like dragged me back in, took me to this little room.
Oh, gosh.
Oh.
I never stole from the store.
Hell, yeah. I saw a guy from my college. It's college. I was like 16. I should have known better. But as he dragged me in there, I saw a guy from like my class, and I was like, "You alright?" And whilst he was like taking me into this
I
room,
really want to say something about that, but I don't know if I've been incriminated.
I've just incriminated myself.
I
Say
never
something,
stole from
Chris.
the store.
So, Alex, the right way to do it is to buy one and come back with the pair you broke last.
Yeah, I've done that before. I've done that before.
What is this, huh?
I didn't want the headphones. I did it because like everyone thought it was cool.
Yeah. It was,
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Street cred, man.
The thing is, as I was walking out, I saw my friend, who's supposed to be my good friend, running as fast as he could away.
But that's what you do. Everyone for themselves when you get in that situation. Sorry,
enough,
but
yeah.
like, why should all of you get in trouble when you don't have to?
I don't know. When my friend went behind the bar and started pouring herself drinks, and we started encouraging her, and she finally got caught and got taken to a little room, and they were like, "We're going to call the police if you don't give back the money for the alcohol." And I just came out of the room and was like, "Right, guys, money? Yep. How much you got? Yep. I'll take that. And then we.
I mean, that's fine, but you're not going to be convicted alongside her if they did end up calling the
True.
police. Exactly.
Oh, that's quite nice though.
I know. I mean, we're good people sometimes.
Sometimes.
To selected. few.
I've just got that the image of my friend like literally running so fast, like
bad.
He's
As they
playing.
ran, the friendship ended with every step they took.
And then because I was banned from that shop, whenever we went town, everyone used to go in that shop just to like piss me off. Be like, "Oh, see you
I mean,
later."
lucky it
mate."
doesn't exist anymore. So,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Make it
Yeah.
like Mystic River, ring them up in 20 years and be like, "You remember Trevor? Remember me?
The guy that was talking to me,
You left me, Trevor."
thinking about it, the guy that like was like talking to me, he's probably like our age now, and he's like in there, he's trying to be like a social worker or something. He's like, "Hey, I used to do stuff like that when I was in school." I was like, "Oh my god, stop with this! I chat, I don't need this at all from you right now."
trying to get that cred where it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I know what it is, man. I know what it's like.
I used to be you. No, you really weren't.
But do you never find that you do that with kids sometimes? So
No.
It's like, yeah, no, I remember when I was your age, I did this, but I rethink all of that now.
Well, yeah,
I
that's a
listen-
good point, but I just keep it to myself. I wouldn't then say like, "Oh, when I was your age, I was like, no, I'm
I
not trying
seem
to
to do
relate
that
to you."
more. I seem to do that more and more every day, and I feel
Yeah.
like an old lady.
If I catch myself talking to kids like that about like when I was your age, I'll be.
That's the thing that I always think had like passes my mind, like what you said. But I think to myself, no, I don't, because they won't respect that. And you think, well, how do I connect with these kids?
Yeah.
You know, if you want to
How do I reach these
reach
kids?
these kids, you know.
I still listen to them.
That sounded a bit creepy.
It's a South Park quote. It's a South Park quote, guys.
Yeah, South Park.
Because that makes it better.
Okay, I think we should invite some people on to do some music.
Yeah, I think intro music save
yeah,
us.
yeah. Simeon needs to listen to our house band.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Brooks Deduction Podcast, where we talk about stuff.
Oh, it was very good, guys. Woo! Yes.
Next time.
So if listeners haven't noticed, we have another voice in the group.
Hello.
This is Simeon. He's a friend. He works under Milk and Cereal, and he's here for a specific reason because he has an amazing new show starting on the 25th of February.
That is correct. Queer Essential.
I think it'd be a good idea to tell the viewers about what Queer Essential is about and how you came about it. You know, what is the method to the madness? If that's a...
The method to the madness. I think it was about 2 years ago, and we were sat in a park, me and a group of friends, and there was 3 of us that was gay and 1 that was straight. Then we was just kind of just talking, and then we started talking about like our sexual experiences and what our top was and our bottom and different things like that. And then the straight friend was like, "Oh my gosh, like this is kind of interesting and educational." And I didn't know that. And he was like, "Oh, like this would be a good idea for like other people to see and hear." And I was like, this would be a good idea for other people to see and hear. And so that kind of just stayed in my head. And then when Milk and Cereal was created, then I was thinking, I know what I'm going to do. I'll do a panel show of one being gay black men and then another one of like ethnically diverse group. And we'll talk about our experiences, what it's like being a part of the LGBTQ community, what it's like being queer and our different experiences and growing up and culture and stuff like that.
But Queer Essentials is all black men.
One panel.
Yeah? Oh, so there's 2 panels.
There's
so Queer
2
Essentials.
panels.
Okay.
Yeah. One I call B&Q, Black and Queer, and the other one I call EE, Ethnic Electric.
Yeah, when I saw that on the list the other day, I'm just like, are we
I know,
doing a
you was
documentary
just like,
based on EE? Like, that store that's fucked me over so many times.
And then the name, how that came about, I kind of at first just wanted to just pick something that represented what the panels would be about, and I didn't want to box us in because someone came up with Shade Parade. Whereas if you have a name like that, like, oh yeah, it's funny, it's cute, and we do throw shade, of course, because it's fundamental. But that's not all that it's about. So then when we do talk about serious topics, like one of our episodes is about religion or another one was about violence, and there isn't much shade going on, then it's kind of get that misconception. And especially if you're tuning in for the first time on that episode and you're expecting like loads of fun and you just hit it when it's not and it gets a little bit deep and serious, then you're going to be disappointed. So and queer, that name, well, actually in the dictionary means odd.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking.
And strange.
It doesn't simply mean people of LGBTQ.
Well,
I think it could be any outsider.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Exactly. And I kind of use it, like everyone has their own like definition of, you know, what it means. But for me, it kind of just generalizes like everyone who is everything other than, you know, the default.
Yeah.
Everything that's other and something that can sum up the whole LGBT community. Yeah, so then Queer Essential was one that there wasn't a Facebook for it or Instagram or a website. So I was like, I will take that.
It is a really good name, though.
like it.
Oh, thank you so much. I just came up with it myself.
It's a great premise as well because before Queer Essential, I must admit, I never knew what it was like to actually be, you know, gay but also Christian in that community and getting an insider on it. It's a good idea to have a demographic represented.
Yeah.
Being gay and black in London, you know, it's not something you see a lot, which is why it's helpful to, you know, have representation for those people that need it.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's quite a good show. And I've been privy to some of those. You guys get deep, but it's hilarious. It's a great show.
I mean, I think violence was supposed to be like a serious topic. And when I first introduced it, it's like everyone was like, oh, what are we going to be talking about? And I was like, today, guys, the episode is going to be about violence. And one person went, really? And it was like, okay. But I think out of all the episodes, that was probably one that we laughed the most. Obviously, there was some serious stuff, but I think that the way that I constructed the questions and things that we did talk about, it wasn't all deep.
Yeah.
There was some light-hearted stuff in there because, you got to keep the balance.
So if we take like that one for an example, how would an episode be framed? Like, how would you do it?
Well, I mean, you've kind of got your typical questions. Well, that would first come into my mind about, like, domestic violence, being abused, being kicked out or beaten up by your family who have rejected your choices, whether it's being a part of the LGBT community or something else. But, I mean, the first question I asked was, what's your favourite horror movie? So it's like...
Because you know your films as well.
I do. I've been, you know what? I didn't always. I've been learning. That taught me very well.
So you said you told them in the morning, so they don't get to any time to prep, really?
They don't get
So it's just fresh answers.
Fresh
okay,
answers.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think it though.
And you're the presenter, would you
Yeah.
say? And then
Presenter, host.
how many people have you got?
And then I've got 4 panelists.
And it's always the four the same.
Always the
Should we give
four.
them a name check?
Yeah. So there is Amor, there's Cartel, there's DJ, and there is Phil.
Come on.
Sometimes I call him Professor Phil because he'd be dropping gems sometimes.
Yeah.
He'll just leave a trail.
I'm looking forward to DJ's glasses. You said it was DJ,
Oh my
right?
gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're trying to get those merchandise.
Yes. So there is a promo out of that. So if you guys haven't been following Queer Essential, if you check out at Queer Essential, there's promo videos and you'll see DJ in his sexy glasses.
So when you started thinking about making this, did you have a look, see if there's anything similar?
Yeah, I did. And I found not many. One that stood out most than others. The others, they weren't great. There was this one, I can't even remember the name of it because it was so long ago, because this has kind of been in the making for over a year now.
Yeah.
I found it, I was a bit disconnected after a while because it wasn't true and honest. You could tell that the people was holding back. I was about to say characters without being themselves. But yeah, and I'm a type of person where I am an open book. If you ask me a question, I will tell you or I'll just won't bother. So it is quite vulgar at times and honest and bare. But, you know, I just thought that, you know, people can either take it or leave it. And I didn't want to hide or pussyfoot around anything. I mean, we've got an episode called Sexy Time. Maybe talk about all the things.
You fit in right here. We don't give a shit about what we say either.
There we go. And I think, you know, the viewers that I want to kind of dig in and subscribe and are people that don't mind, that will just be like, okay, these people, they have a story to tell, they're going to be honest about it, and they're just going to give you 110%. And if they're asked a question, they're not going to be like, oh, and try and look cute on camera. And yeah. Like, there was one group of guys, and it was 4 gay black guys.
Well, this is another
a different panel, and they were all from African background, and with our group it's mixed, so we've got Caribbean as well as African. So I thought that was good because, I mean, growing up as a gay black man in London, people think, oh, you're all the same, and kind of put us all in one box. And when you're watching, you'll find out that we're actually all different, and, you know, sometimes we agree and sometimes we disagree, just like any other human being. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to create this as well, to show people that are queer, we're just like everybody else. Sometimes we're going to disagree, sometimes we're going to have similar views. So I hope that straight viewers that are watching, you know, can relate to us in certain discussions and topics.
That's why I liked your mix with the Caribbean, because obviously I'm more growing up in Jamaica.
Yeah.
I thought to myself, crikey, there's not a harder place for a gay man to grow up.
Right.
But he does not care. In his own words, he was never in.
He was never in.
So, wow. Yeah, I was having that was a really good show.
And if we was put in the same position, I would have died a long time ago. I would not have survived or been as confident and as fierce as more. So we all have our different stories and different things that we had to face and tackle. Some of the group have had, you know, bad experiences in churches, and I've been fortunate to not have had that I've been brought up in a church, and I'm in a church now, Royal Docs, that accept me and have on their website that they're an open church and they will kind of accept anybody who wants to be there. So, you know, we've all had our different battles and stuff, and as anybody else has. So, you know, I think viewers are going to be able to relate to a lot of the stuff.
I always find it so shocking that it's 2019 and people aren't accepting.
I know.
It's just, I hear people's stories and I'm just always so shocked.
Yeah.
You didn't even grow up that far from me. I seem to have grown up in like a state. My parents were conservative, but not ultra conservative. So it's just,
I think people get more shots when it's the churches. I've always seen them as the people that kind of judge the most when it comes to the LGBT community, and we're like, and that kind of give off that judgmental vibe, and you're not holy enough, or you need to repent.
It's not just the church, it's with all the religions, though. I think religious people, they're either very, very good or very, very bad. That think they're doing the right thing, but they're actually doing the complete opposite.
Is it because they all like are based on a set of rules in a way, and then being gay or like lots of other things subverts those rules, I guess.
Kind of outdated at this point as well. Right?
Exactly.
Especially some of these like things about I'll treat your slave well, or what was it? It's like
shellfish.
I'm going to cherry pick this one because I like it. Yeah, but not this. This is
See, it's weird because even my family, they were Muslim, right? I had an Islamic teacher once. I don't know how he came up with this one rule, right? Because I told him I wanted to be involved in film and television when I was a kid, and he was just like, "Oh no, you can't do that. It's against religion." I'm like, "But this book was written before technology existed." So how did you even interpret it that way?
No, you can't do blogs. Can't do blog posts. Sorry, says it in the Quran.
So, Queer Essential, is it like this isolated thing, or do you think it's going to be an ongoing series?
Oh no, it'll be an ongoing series. I've already planned certain things for season 2.
Okay.
Oh.
I work fast and hard, and I'm the type of person where I'm kind of, actually, you know what, that did sound really sexy. And all of it was true, apart from when I've having my lazy days. But, fast and hard, woo! But yeah, where I was kind of like, when this project first started of Milk and Cereal, and I was like, I can't know what to do straight away. So when we had our first meeting, I was like, right, let me just pull out my laptop and, give a little presentation. And then since then, it's always just been like, go, go, go. I was going to have a 5-year plan, but I thought, let me just calm down a little bit and then, see what happens each year. And stuff. But yeah, we're going to be expanding next year. Obviously, we've got the 2 panels for this year. This panel, B&Q, the Black and Queer, is 12 episodes. Then we're going to be doing 3 episodes of a sex ed session with Professor Phil and his co-host.
And Alex, like, the look on his face, I think you should say one. As an audience member.
This is what I was going to ask, like, because you said there's the straight guy in the park.
Yeah.
When it first started.
Yeah.
Is it like...
The co-host will be a straight female.
Is it for, like...
Straight and LGBT, so just be sex education, just...
Yeah.
Well, not everything, because, there's only so much you can get into 3 episodes.
But would you say, like, the initial 12 episodes as well, like, is it directed towards, say, like, straight guys that don't know much about...
they will definitely learn a thing or two, especially the ones with girlfriends who pretend that they're straight. Snap. But that one is it's a little bit different because that's me asking sort of personal questions where us as individuals will reveal certain things about ourselves and our views and our past and our future. So then we've got that, we've got the sex ed, we've got Vox Pop, which Amor will be hosting, and we'll go into the general public and be asking questions. And then after that, then we'll have the EE group, which will be an ethnically diverse group talking about LGBT topics in general. Topics and news.
Are they all LGBT as well? Are you going to...
Yeah.
Okay.
So there we've got...
and you've got them lined up?
We've got them lined up. We've got someone who's gay, someone who's bi, someone who's lesbian. We'll have someone who's trans. So we'll kind of fit the whole LGBT criteria, and they can kind of not represent... Well, yeah, in a way represent everybody else, but again, it's that individuality of, they can't stand up and talk for everyone else because they have their own struggles and views, same as everybody else.
Yeah.
But I think it would be nice to have literally LGBT covered in that panel.
That's it. Even if it's only 5 people, adding 5 more voices into the, like...
Yeah.
Because I bet there's... Well, I'm sure there's, like, other gay people out there that would watch your videos and say, these people don't represent us.
Yeah,
But you're not, like... you're not under any... What's the word? Illusions that you're, like, speaking for everyone. But it's just good to have 5 more voices in there, because that's, when there's so few voices in there that's representing, then it's like 5 extra ones is a lot, really.
And, this is just a start. As I said, season 2, we've got more things going on, so that's the structure of the first
do you have
season.
Kind of an ETA on when season 2 would arrive?
Honey, I ain't giving away no revealers. Okay, I ain't even going to tell you what other the shows we've got going on lined up. But I'm just going to have to just keep on believing.
Hey, I tried to be a bit journalistic in there.
Like this humongous mic in the middle's not recording.
Ignore the microphone.
You just have to stay tuned.
Okay.
But it'll be interesting, and as you said, about covering different voices, there's so many different people out there. Having a person who has a disability or autism or who's deaf or can't read, or there's so many variations of people out there. Some people with mental health and
it's like people with disabilities voices are only sort of just being heard in the straight world.
Yes.
So say shows like Undateables and that.
Yeah.
In terms of like gay people with disabilities and stuff like that, that's like a whole other thing that I've never heard of someone. I've never heard someone speak that's.
Yeah. There's no such thing as a gay person can't be. There are gay people out there with disabilities or mental health, or with these different elements to them, and that's their life, that's their truth, and you know, we kind of need to stand up and be counted and be like, okay, these people exist, and you know, we have different opinions and views, but we are all human beings at the end of the day.
It's wrong that I've not even thought about it.
What's that?
Like a disabled person being gay or straight or anything.
But then
really.
why is that? It's because it's not in the media.
Yeah, maybe.
Basically, the media and the news, they just show you and tell you what they want to when they want to.
Yeah.
And, you know, the whole idea for this, it kind of made me want to do this even more, because it was, even being gay and black and a man, it's very Americanized. You don't hear about it a lot in the UK. There's a very short demographic for it within this country, and so it was kind of like, oh yeah, like let me make it bigger and make it known, because I mean there's so many gay American shows that you don't really hear about a lot of gay UK shows.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
I only think, whenever I think gay UK show, all I think is Queer as Folk, and that's it.
I was going to say Queer
That's
as
the
Folk.
beginning and the end.
Yeah,
I feel like
and
that's-
then Queer as Folk, no offense to
They're
the
all
makers
white,
and the
isn't it?
producers and stuff, but when it was, I think, where was the original? Is it Manchester, was it?
That main guy's
Newcastle,
Irish.
somewhere out there,
Irish?
yeah.
So, yeah, but, and then I prefer the
Manchester, Newcastle, Irish. Who's
Wait,
he?
Charlie Hunnam, he's from Newcastle. What's his name? Aidan Gillen.
It's the guy from The Wire as well that played.
Aidan Gillen.
Is that him?
Yeah.
Okay.
And also Littlefinger.
Oh yeah, his little finger as well.
Yeah,
But,
so,
I
yeah.
prefer the American version. Look, Americans took that over, and it was like the
What
only
do you think
things
that
that
is?
Americans didn't take over that stayed good in the UK was Shameless. Sorry,
Well, I watched Ugly Betty. That was a train wreck.
you didn't like.
I didn't mind it to begin with,
Ugly
but
Betty.
it just grew on.
As soon
It
as she
grew
got
on
like,
really
the
quickly.
fact when she wasn't ugly.
Well, she was
That
never.
was just shit.
Yeah.
She was never really ugly.
It was
was
just-
she?
Of course, she's not ugly.
But I
They
don't
wouldn't-
think.
Ameri-
But then it was that thing of, we know that she isn't ugly, but within the fashion world, she was deemed as
Of
ugly.
course.
Yeah, because they would never actually make a show about.
But it's that
Yeah,
annoying
they'd never
trope.
make a show about an ugly person.
That annoying trope of literally, you know, take off a couple of the
off
curls,
your
the
glasses.
glasses.
Well, it's that it wasn't a meme then, because they didn't. There was no such thing at the
Oh,
time.
that thing
but
where they
the
would put their hand over the camera.
no, the film.
and the Naughty.
She's all that with.
Oh, yeah,
Freddie
yeah, Freddie-
Prinze Jr. And then
Rachel
they
Lee
did
Clifford, yeah.
them stupid films like not another
Oh,
teen
Not Another
movie.
Teen
And then when
Movie.
they
That's a
reenacted that
classic.
scene, when they just took out her hairband and took off her glasses, and it was
Yeah.
like, okay, now you're done. It's just exactly that.
Is it wrong that I'm in my 20s and I still love She's All That?
Yeah, no, that's
It's
the
not
other
wrong.
right.
Why would that
That
ever
was a
be
good
wrong?
film.
I mean, yeah, because of that scene.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Basically, it doesn't make sense whatsoever. She is not ugly. She's actually really beautiful.
Yeah.
They just took out her
but
ponytail
what do you
to
mean
go past
beautiful?
them. Well, everyone's beautiful in their own way.
What about you?
Oh yeah.
Everyone's beautiful in their own way.
I hate that phrase.
What beautiful?
They're beautiful in their own way. Like, oh, what
To
is
be fair, they are, because everyone's got their own sense of attractiveness,
Yeah.
what they find attractive.
Yeah, but if
No,
your
but it's like saying, what,
if your
just
boyfriend or
conventionally,
girlfriend
I'm
said
not.
that, yeah, oh my girlfriend or boyfriend's beautiful in their own way, you'd be like, what the fuck did you just
What's the
say
other
about
way?
me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, like, I find a guy attractive on the surface, but the moment he starts talking, after like 5 minutes of conversation, somehow my wood has gone.
That's the thing. I'm
Yeah.
exactly the same. You could be really pretty. You could start off as a 10 or a 9, but I'm like, have I met a 10? Let me be real. A 9. And then if their personality is shit, like you could go all the way down to a 3, and then for me it works vice versa.
You could be a 3 and go up to a 9.
Yeah.
Don't lie to me.
No, but-
Darling, I ain't gonna name no names, but
What have you got to do to go from a 3 to a 9?
Now, I met a guy once and he was attracted to me, and his friend went, "Are you attracted to him?" And I went, "No, it's not my type." And we ended up dating for 5 months. It was only supposed to be 3, but mate, he liked me very well.
3-month plan, yeah?
What was-
Well, I used to do like a contract, like where you could you could be my boyfriend for 3 months basically, and then it'll be end, because I know that I've got commitment
Whoa,
issues.
snap.
Damn.
To be fair, at least you know you've got the
No,
expiry date.
wait.
Yeah,
That's
so
so
then after
much.
the 3 months,
That's
it's like,
so
oh,
much
remember
what
that
you just said.
conversation that we had? Remember when I said?
Yeah, but then what is it like the last few days? Aren't they a little bit tense? And it's like,
Well, he
know
got
it's coming
extended.
up,
He got another
contract's
2
ending.
months.
well, who are
So
you
he
to
got
extend
extended.
his contract?
Honey.
Why can't he extend your contract?
I don't know. You should have thought about the contract before.
I suppose, yeah, you're coming at it at the beginning and being open about it.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not a relationship person. I'm not looking for a relationship right now. Do you want to? Because I don't want to just have sexy time. I don't want to just have a friendship. So it's like, let's do all the things drinks, and then shake hands and...
I mean, it's like a bottle of milk. You need the expiry date on there.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to keep having it until one day it sours. One day it will sour and you won't know where it's come from. Like, there's no heads up or anything. At least you've got the expiry date.
And then, like, you've got, like, the honeymoon period for 3 months. Hey, you be living. No arguments.
Feel like a tension. Because if you want that contract extension, then you've got to be, like, extra funny and be like, is it like a 3-month appraisal? It's like
a bigger tie.
Because then I told them from the beginning, there's nothing that you can do to come out of this. Like,
so what's... Yeah, but then aren't you... Then isn't there guys that has been like, oh, then I don't really want to do...
Then that's absolutely fine.
But then you might be missing out on, like, the best guy ever.
But I would never know.
But they want different things in life, though.
You've thought about it.
I'm just weaning out the week, honey. I'm just weaning out the week.
Separating the wheat from the chaff.
Thank you.
To be fair, I think he's completely right, though. Everything should have an end date, because most things
It's
end
not about
it.
right or wrong. It's about
It depends on the person.
Yeah, true.
It's like, I mean, if I was the type of person where, like, I've dated a few guys and it just kind of always ends the same, where, like, I can go from 100 to 0 very quickly. So it's like, instead of doing that and, like, putting everything in and getting them invested, and it's like, you know, I'm going to tell you from the beginning.
Yeah, that's cool.
This is the way it is, and I like you very much, but yeah. Oh, look at the time. 3 months past.
Past
Honey, I'm setting an alarm. No, I'm joking. I'm taking the piss now.
Think about it. You've only got 3 months If you've only got 3 months to do something, you're going to make that 3 months worthwhile.
Yeah,
you're going to have the greatest part of
You
a
must have had a
relationship.
few cool 3 months.
I really did.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like the kinkiest shit to get at the start of a relationship. Like, we got this on contract, you got 3 months, and I'll be like, ooh. But then,
Jesus.
halfway through that second month, you're starting to end up like season 10 of Friends, where you're trying extra hard, your tie is bigger, you're wearing polka dot shirts. Like, am I not cute?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's a big cough. Sorry.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Oh, it's a real cough. People cough in real life.
But in my defence, I haven't done the contract thing in about 2 years.
Is it written?
No, it's a verbal agreement.
Yeah.
That'd be really weird to bring out
No,
on
that
the
would be
first
too
date.
much. I don't think I would be getting any.
As long as there's a handshake involved, that's good. That's
Yeah.
sold.
But yeah, so yeah, and then I got into a relationship after the contract, and that was a decent relationship.
So you
Obviously,
didn't
it
say the
ended.
contract thing?
No. Not everybody gets a contract. There's some
Oh.
people where I do feel that, you know, I can marry your ass and have kids with.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's like, and you know, with the first guy, I knew that there was some red flags. So it was kind of like, I'm not them type of people that will lie to myself and be like, oh, I'm just gonna see what happens, or you can be my boyfriend for the foreseeable future. No, honey, bitch, I know when this is gonna end. Just own up to it and be self-aware.
Oh, that's fair. So the 3-month contract thing isn't with everyone. It's
No,
it's like
no.
it's just a thing
not
that
with
you...
everyone. It's with people that I know,
You know,
that it's not
you
gonna
can
last
never
with.
use the 3-month contract thing again.
Oh, I'm still gonna use it, like, mate. That's your. But to be honest, I am seeing somebody at the moment, and he does not have a contract. So, yes,
One of the lucky ones.
he is the lucky one.
Does he-
So am I. So am I.
Does he know that the contract thing was ever a thing?
Yeah, I'm honest. So yeah, I even said to him from the beginning, I was like, I've got commitment issues and I'm not looking for a relationship right now, but I really like you.
Yes,
I'm sorry, I'm
right.
still going with the cold hard businessman kink. It's amazing. I might have to start using that if I can. But you know what? I'd get a slap. That's what I do.
The 3-month office thing with me, the 3-month contract with me. If I was halfway through the speech about the 3-month contract, there wouldn't be anyone in the room anymore.
Swap down in my chair on my speed dating course. Just maybe you got 3 months. See how long I last. I'll get 2 minutes.
But it depends on how you do it. Obviously, you don't say on the first day now. You meet someone, you're like, hi, I really like you. You can have a 3-month contract. Like, what?
Oh, this is your interview.
What job is this?
You're a 7, so you can have a 3-month contract.
You're a 7.
A 7's high.
I agree, yeah.
You
7
get
is
someone a
good.
contract on a 7?
Yeah.
You wouldn't just go for it?
Wait, what? 7 is good enough for a contract. You're not going to marry a 7, are you?
I would marry a 7.
Well, I would marry a 7 as well. Depends. Of course I would. Of course I'd marry a 7, but it depends if that's... Yeah, but not straight away.
Well, I hope not.
I don't know.
What's that film? What happens in Vegas when they get married?
What? Ashton Kutcher and Cameron Diaz.
Like that.
Isn't she older than him? Isn't she like?
She's a lot older than
10 years
him.
his senior?
She's got with
Something kind of old.
No, Ashton Kutcher is actually quite old. He just looks really young. I think he's in his 40s.
Oh, he's punking everyone. Come on.
I know, it's Justin Bieber that does the punking now, isn't it?
That show continues.
Yeah.
Punked. Justin Bieber doesn't host Punked.
Bieber doesn't.
I thought he did.
Stop making up fake things.
That's what I read somewhere.
That's just how young Ashton Kutcher looks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you see Pink on Punked back in the day?
I think so.
She's like a real what the fuck?
Yeah.
I just still say the Justin Timberlake one. Sorry.
When he started crying.
Yeah.
When they
And they took his dog.
or something.
They took his dog, smashed his guitar. Yeah. Oh god, that was amazing.
The
though.
best one was Zach Braff because he actually tried.
Oh,
to
the car. Yeah, he tried to beat the crap out of the kid.
It's like a really bad Scrubs episode.
The kid from Malcolm in the Middle had a good one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had like a little sports car, but he was only like leaning.
Doesn't he hold a feud against Shia LaBeouf?
Who? Frankie Muniz.
Frankie Muniz.
Why? What do they have in common
He
now?
just started
They're
like
both child
calling him out on
stars.
Twitter.
Really?
Both around that same age.
Frankie Muniz
Frankie
is calling
Muniz.
Shia LaBeouf. That's really bad when
I
it's not
think
Shia
he's
LaBeouf.
gonna lose. Shia LaBeouf is doing the most these days sometimes. Well, he used to anyway. I don't know if he's still fighting in bars, but...
Do you remember that thing where he watched all his films in the cinema on like all in one long row, and he Facebook lived his
And didn't he say-
himself watching them all?
Okay.
Didn't he say it was very humbling because his movies are
I'm
rubbish?
okay with that.
Of course, he's.
Why are you okay with that?
Because if he wants to watch his film, like, you know, like some people, they're like, oh no, I don't watch what I'm in. That's fair
yeah.
enough.
No, well,
but if you wouldn't, like, I would be proud of my shit. Like, yes, I'm going to have a marathon, and whoever wants to join me, I'll be in the cinema from this time to this time.
Okay.
This is the listing,
Fair
so,
enough.
you know, join what films that you like.
Alex shouldn't be judging because before you arrived, he said, "Let's listen to an old episode."
Okay.
We're all just sat here listening to us talking like, oh, no.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
There we go.
I like your prose. Just a bit.
Yeah, but Shia LaBeouf has gone a bit. He's gone a bit west, hasn't he?
He's gone a bit. He was always a bit.
He was always
Even Stevens, he was alright.
Yeah.
I like
Transformers.
Even Stevens, but I think that's what got him there because honestly, like after Holes, he got a little bit.
Sorry, who's home?
Oh,
Frankie Muniz.
And what are we talking about?
You know Holes is a film, Simeon. So
No,
trying to make
I
everything
do.
sexual.
Everything is a little bit sexy, you know?
I can think of a few things that aren't.
Let's not even look at this, please. I'm trying to keep the drink down.
Alright, is there
would
anything-
you accept Shia LaBeouf on your show? People like Shia
I
LaBeouf,
thought you were
Frankie
taking my
Muniz.
bed.
Yeah, I thought that's where we were going.
It depends. I'd have to prep him before.
Okay.
Because I don't know what his, well, not that I've ever known what he's really like, but I'd be like, okay, like, you cool, right? You cool? We like black people? We like gay
So you're-
people?
you're-
Alright.
So you're going to be pretty inclusive.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that if in order to be inclusive, you have to not exclude the people who are excluding others.
Yeah.
Which is tricky.
You want someone on your show that's like homophobic and stuff. Then they're their own worst enemy. They advertise their own stupidity,
Or
right?
you could
it's
argue
like-
your points and try and convince
I would want them at a distance because I don't fuck with peoples like that. But
Fair enough.
I don't want to.
But you hire the crew as well, so if he gets a bit leery...
Honey, I do not have money for security.
No, but you have the money, you have the food for Chris, basically, not the money. You fed them.
Oh, yeah.
You, Max, and whoever the other cameraman was.
The legendary lunch. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of like having discussions, like, and that's the thing, like the whole reason of this is to talk and to talk about things that people don't want to talk about, are afraid to talk about, are shy to talk about, and just to have it out in the open. So if someone came at me with opposite views, I would listen.
Yeah.
Might not take everything in because I'd be like a sieve. Just waiting for the pasta to drop. All the water's coming down, and I'm just like, there's one pasta. Pick that up.
I like that because I can understand why people go for it, but I don't believe in safe spaces. I do believe in open forums like you would go. So obviously having those different opinions
Yeah.
If you can make it work, wow, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Because then you can kind of get to the root of certain questions, you know?
Yeah.
Like, why is this hate? Does it exist?
Yeah.
You know, why is this it? But at the same time, good luck, because there are some very, very, that would be a very, very hard balancing act.
No,
So,
absolutely. And I mean, it's going to be even tougher on all of us than it has been already, because I mean, we're really making ourselves vulnerable and putting our shit and our lives out there.
Has there ever been any worries about that between any of you and
absolutely,
everyone,
all of us, even myself, who's kind of running the shit, but it's like you're either prepared to do it or you're not.
Because it's hard enough as it must be anyway, and then like if you're
to be like, hey, look at us, listen to us. And you said a key word, safe space, and it's like, well, you know, we can hide behind the mic, we can hide behind the camera, but I mean, there is no safe space, because as soon as we step out into the world, which is full of suffering and hate and a lot of shit, we're in it on our day-to-day lives. So it's like, let's take all that and just make something positive out of it.
Because there are some people out there that will listen to that. You're putting yourself out there, you're making yourself vulnerable, but by doing that, you are shedding some warmth for other people that need to hear that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, one of the biggest things to combat this sort of hate is just the fact that people don't have to be lonely. They can know other people out there are the same as them.
Yeah.
And, you know, hopefully people are listening to that and there's a service being brought here.
Yeah.
You know? If you feel less lonely about certain things or who you are, then already half the battle's won.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden it encourages other people to open up. I want to be like these people. You might even inspire other people to make their own shows. You never know.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's the chain, and that's how you make change.
Yeah. And for us guys here and the viewers who are listening, listeners,
listeners,
Procrastinators, most likely.
like, how many of us grew up and went through a situation where we thought we was the only ones, and then later grew up and found out, oh my gosh, there is actually people that either went through the same thing or felt the same thing. And it's nice to kind of put that out there and be like, hey, like, you might feel a certain way or you're going through this, but you're not the only ones. Other people have. And you know, like, I've been for the past 3-4 years, I go into schools and I do public speaking.
Oh, is it?
On homosexuality, spirituality, identity, and as I said before, I hated school. Out of the 5 years I was there for about 2.
I hope you don't tell that to the kids when you're there.
I do not. I say stay in school. No, I'm joking. I don't tell them stay in school. I say do what you want. But but I can only speak on my truth and be honest. And it's nice to tell my story and say, you know, I kind of went through certain things, and everything isn't for everybody is the overall message. You know, we all have our own things, and kind of just get to know yourself and love yourself. And, you know, certain things that you don't like about yourself in school, it's like, you know, when I was in school and we just had the whole weight of the world on our shoulders. Everything was important. Who's dating who got beat up by who wants to fight. And it's just like, yeah, it's a lot of stuff. And then they go through their exams, their tests, their friendship groups, home life. It's a lot of shit.
The other thing, secondary school, everyone's so tough and everyone's so cool. But you don't realise no one's cool or tough, and everyone... I was having this conversation with my friend the other day, and he was talking about how he used to feel super anxious, but what he felt was his heart racing loads, didn't know what to do, panicking, and then, like, now, because people were talking about it more, he realises that that's anxiety. There was a name that was given to it, and it helps so much to be able to say, if you're feeling all those things, like panicky, heart racing loads, it's much better to be able to say, to put a name to the thing, like, I'm feeling anxious. And that's so good that everyone, because people are talking about that nowadays, and then if you're a younger person at school, you hear people talking about stuff, and then it's like, oh, you can almost like put a name to something that I'm feeling. And like the thing what you were saying about going to schools, and it's not for everyone what you say, but there might be one kid in there that like completely connects with everything that you say. It's like, everything that I was just feeling like in my bedroom like last night or whatever, he's like talking about that, and he is exactly the same as me, sort of thing.
And to kind of go back into school and say, you know, I survived it. I remember one memory of walking across the field and then turning back and saying, you know what, Simeon, one day you ain't even gonna be here no more in this piece of school. These people ain't gonna know you, ain't gonna see them. You will make it. You just have to hold on, and I made it, mate. I'm 28 years old now, and school was like a thing of the past. It was a blip of me being a dweeb and a people pleaser. It was, but
it makes you sad that you
look how cool I am now. Like, oh my god, like.
It's time to put on the Wilson Phillips. Speaking of loneliness, guys, when was your loneliest moment? Eh?
Really?
Oh, you are joking.
Usually when I'm in a room full of people.
Huh?
Usually when I'm in a room full of people.
Full of people.
I feel like that's the answer I should give, right?
Remember the time I thought I was the only Chris, and then I went to a class. There was a second Chris, and that's when I realised.
Then you looked at my phone and there's like 10 of them.
Yeah.
Well, this is it. So, my birthday is September 11th. Already a bit bad.
Why?
No,
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Sorry,
Why?
yeah, of course.
Oh, God.
Nothing wrong with that.
But also, it's like right at the beginning of the school year, yeah? So one time I started a new school, awkward time, it was like year 4 or 5, it was my birthday. First day of school was my birthday. Didn't know anyone in the whole school, no one knew it was my birthday. And then I remember DT was my last lesson. It was like something from a film.
What was that? Design technology?
Yeah. And I was just like, it's my birthday today!
Oh, bless you.
I thought you were going to say something like, it was 2001. I burst into the gymnasium with my birthday.
I remember, I'll be honest, on the year of 9/11, I got in the car, my friend was going to come back home with me, because like, it's my birthday, so I could have a friend round, whatever. And my mum was like, there's been like a plane's crashed into a building, and I was like, honestly, I remember being like, why are you talking about that? Like, what's that got to do with anything? Like, that age,
Where is my gift?
I literally thought, like, planes crashed into buildings all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like
sure.
oh,
planes.
okay.
Yeah.
You've seen too many Die Hard films. That's
Yeah,
why.
that's what. Yeah.
See, our school, they actually took us into a special assembly and they actually sat us down and talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
Oh, I was in a school that day.
Yeah, you probably were.
Your school probably did as well.
I remember one time.
And no, it was primary school before I started just skipping all the time. So.
Even in they had the World Cup and they had TVs in the school.
Oh yeah.
Best.
If you guys can't see it, which you can't, I'm rolling my eyes because I don't fuck with sports. So I was like, okay, an excuse for me to go home.
I remember World Cup. I can't remember which one it was, but I won football fantasy.
I think you're
really?
probably talking about Euros.
No, it was World Cup.
Hang on a second.
I don't know which one.
You guys actually went home during the World Cup?
No, we had in the sports room, or like the chapel sports room, dinner room, whatever, had all the chairs there and like a projector, and we watched the football.
Jesus.
When it was the England game, only when it was the England game.
Oh, really? No, they watched everything.
No, yeah, they had the screens up all the time.
Yeah,
So
I was like, this
good.
is bullshit
That's the
to make
best.
people go to school.
No, and did you not remember the teachers trying to tie in football with schoolwork?
I was in
No.
the day.
I did
I
not.
remember.
Any day.
Basically.
I remember.
Every day was a Saturday and a Sunday.
Actually, in my year 7, right, there was a thing called Arsenal Double Club, where like one of the coaches from Arsenal came along. He had like a teaching degree.
Okay.
He picked up a group of students, and they do like maths and English and an hour of football a day. So I wasn't stupid enough to get into the class, and I really wanted to skip some classes because I was fine at maths and English.
Yeah.
And I pushed and pushed and pushed, and I had to get my parents to call up and ask to be put in this class just so I didn't have to go to religious education.
Religious education.
Yeah.
See, I did we called it PSHO.
Yeah.
Yes,
Me,
yeah.
us too. There's so many
What was
names.
the P for? Because it wasn't physical, was it?
No.
I know
What's it
health.
called?
Well, actually, no, it's humanities in total, so it was like...
Actually, it wasn't just religious. It was like just.
Because the R was for religion, and then the H
No,
was for health.
I think you're talking about humanities, because that was religious education,
No, that's
geography, and history.
citizenship.
No, our geography and
Because
history was separate.
they're the ones that I got to
That
skip.
subject had so many.
It was just all
acronyms.
over the
I had
place.
RSS, PSSSHE, all of the.
No, but
different-
that was citizenship, PSSHE.
RSS was religious social studies.
Oh.
It was like,
okay.
like philosophy, all of them sort of things, trying to be like humanities
I
and all
know
that.
a lot more about Sikhism than I do Christianity now.
It's fine.
Because we had it really like went all around.
Okay.
But I feel like PSHE was like I called it the logic course, because it's like if you were ever going to learn, like if they were going to incorporate how to do taxes into school, it would be PSHE.
Yeah, that's true.
That's where it would go. And why haven't they done that yet? Because
I don't know.
that shit would make sense.
See, I think I would have went to school
If what?
if they taught me about taxes and how to
That's
make
what
a
they
bank
teach.
account.
I mean, they taught me about politics, but that wasn't until my
even
tutor group in...
They should have like
Like, teach me how to live, honey.
They should have like landlord studies, like how to know your landlord's
Yeah.
fucking
Just
doing you over, what happens to
logical
do if
shit.
your boiler's broken, if you've got damp in the corner of your room,
What to do with mould.
like
It's true.
what estate agents can and can't do, because those people are
Honey.
fucking me up the
It's
ass.
true.
the times when you go to the interview at the WH Smiths and they're like, what does X represent? And you're like, fuck, it's coming into use now. Finally, pi.
Yeah.
Wait, no, X doesn't represent pi.
Huh?
Well, it might do.
algebra.
It's pi is the subject.
Okay.
Well, not subject.
No, pi is something completely different. Pi is just a figure.
I need more drink.
Would you like a saurine loaf?
The saurine loaf.
That sounds sexy. That sounds like what was it? A Bombay roll?
A Bombay roll.
What's a Bombay roll?
Oh, child. I don't know if we're ready. What's the time? Is it late enough?
Has anyone heard that tune, NSG Options? Oh, mate, this is the problem. You remember earlier we were talking about, like, being down with the kids and that? I worry my music taste is too down with the kids.
Really?
Like, the music I listen to is like...
just showing off.
Some of them are like... how is that showing off? I listen to music made by, like, 16-year-olds.
You're virtue signalling. You're signalling your virtues, man.
Which
I'm
virtues?
worried I'm a little bit too cool.
You know what I mean?
Too cool with who? With who? There's no 16-year-olds in this room. I'm not cool right now. There's no 16-year-olds listening to this podcast. That's for damn sure.
Well, you never know. You never know.
There's a few that have made themselves known.
Really?
I mean, other than the jewellery cut, I can't remember who else.
NSG
The
Options.
diamond laserer.
It's a big tune.
Bill Smith.
Are we
Sorry, play NSG.
Bill Smith?
Bill
Shout out to you, sir.
Again.
Bill
is it?
Smith.
Bill or
Super
Will?
fan.
As in, he actually messaged us a few weeks before when we were first planning on relaunching the Dork Seduction, like the day after, and I thought he was spying on us.
Oh.
Because he was just like, so when are you going to actually upload
Has
a
he
new
listened
episode?
to any of the shows with
I
me
don't know,
yet?
he hasn't messaged since.
I would.
Shall I message him saying, by the way, there's new episodes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, probably should. And check out Queer Essential.
Oh,
Yeah.
drink. She said it.
Oh,
she said it to
no.
At the end of the episode, we'll do another one, okay? Before you go to the
We're
arcade.
going to have to say QE.
Rules is the rules.
Just call it QE and we're good.
I'm so happy that we've finally got a guest that can talk.
I'm so glad.
You're well good at talking.
Why do people not talk?
You're actually well good
like-
at talking now.
Alright, now you're too down with the kids. Now you're too down. Come back.
We had like Daniel Day-Lewis
Chris
and...
Hemsworth, Hugh Jackman, they always come with a cold.
Yeah.
They can't talk.
I'm sorry. I beg your pardon. Listeners, is this true? Look, I said listeners for the first time instead of viewers.
Hey, they know Chris Hemsworth and me, we have a special relationship.
Okay, what's that distance?
Let's just have your every week. No, it's Chris and Chris don't like each other.
No, we do not.
Whereas I think
Another Chris. I'm not special anymore.
Oh.
I essentially harassed him.
Simeon, I only just joined this thing, and it's all a bit weird, the whole Christmas thing.
You met Chris Hemsworth once.
Yes, I met you. Chris Hemsworth.
I am so...
Me and you went out with Chris Hemsworth. We left Chris Bridger out.
Simon, why
I'm afraid,
you
yeah. You what, sorry?
Why are you winking?
I'm winking. I'm not winking. Anyway,
Do we need to stop?
I think we need to wrap
Oh,
up.
God, he's carrying on in here forever.
I know, right?
Good.
Just out of turn.
Simeon came on here to talk about Queer Essential. I think we spent half the...
What was that? What's it
Well, I
called?
think it's Queer Essential, right?
Another shot.
Come on.
Why you do this to me, Debbie?
Oh, it's been super nice chatting with you.
Alright, the third one was better than the second one. Not the film, the drink.
First one's obviously the best. Second one was a dip, and then the third one was actually alright.
Yeah.
Are you just talking about films in general?
It's Toy Story.
You sound like Jamie Kennedy from Scream.
Jamie Kennedy. What? Is she the one that gets her head when
No,
she goes
Jamie
in?
Kennedy. The guy.
Kennedy.
He's the one that was a dork and he was in the film clubs and stuff. He's basically...
Oh,
Yes.
I'll be right back. Matthew Lillard.
Fucking Shaggy.
No.
No, Jamie Kennedy.
You're talking about the one that died in the second one.
Yeah.
And, he
He was
put
the
into
film student.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he was the one that was all philosophical about the horror
Love
movies.
that guy.
Matthew,
Have you guys seen the series of Scream?
No.
What, TV series?
Yeah,
Did watch it.
MTV.
Yeah, it was
They
not too bad.
actually-
Well, all the films are so good.
Because all the films.
The third one.
I haven't seen the
Four
film.
was alright.
Okay. Alright, that's all we got time for.
Just vomit into
I
this
forgot about four. I forgot about
So
four.
done. Did you say 4 was alright?
I've only seen the first
was
two. I think there may be
Man,
some good ones.
and you guys don't
that?
like Avatar by Shyamalan? Lady in the Water? What classics?
Anyway, Anyway, guys, I think before we ruin our friendship. So, Simeon, Prosecco going to be launching on the 25th of February.
25th of Feb. Yes.
Everyone needs to watch
25th of February.
Yes.
Where can we find it? I don't think we actually discussed
find
that.
it on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Milk and Cereal. You can also follow us on our Instagram, Queer Essential, all lowercase. And you can find myself, Simeon.Simms, on Instagram if you want. I will be taking my phone number off of there very shortly because I didn't even know I had my number on there.
Seriously?
Someone
I thought you
called
were just
me
joking.
and was like, hi, and I was like, hi, I don't like I got your number from Instagram. Luckily it was someone that I knew. And then when they told me who they were, I was like, shit.
I've gotten a phone call from Instagram before, but I think that was just because we followed each other. I thought the messenger allows you to call people.
No, honey.
So these people can get my number.
These people can get your number.
Simeon, what's happening? What is in the first episode?
Oh,
yeah, what's the what the first topic is?
Alright, the first topic is basically kind of introducing the show and us. So the topic is about being a gay black man, which we'll kind of dive into and talk about our different experiences. I think the first one is 35.
Are they all about around that sort of time?
Yeah, they're all about that
and it's
time.
like all of you sitting there, and is it edited or is it? Like...
Yes, it's edited a little bit, but I mean, we done every episode in one take.
Nice,
and then we'll
cool.
kind of just take from it what we want.
I can't wait, man.
There'll be no. Well, actually, I think there's one, not a blooper, but like something that kind of gets beeped out here and there because I made a mistake.
Wait, are you leaving things out?
Just the one. I made a mistake, and I told the viewers something that I shouldn't have. And,
Oh wow! Okay,
and
something just
it was legal.
Can we tell the
reasons? We cannot. So for legal purposes, other than that, I am an open book. But I ain't getting arrested for y'all. So,
cool.
So I look forward to everybody tuning in.
25th of Feb.
And we'll be doing a weekly upload, so we'll be uploading every Monday.
Come on,
Okay.
that's sick. It's been a pleasure having you on, isn't it?
Oh, and we've got the EU group in the autumn, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
in
So we
the
can walk
autumn,
right
and
for
then
that.
some little bits and pieces in the summertime.
Because it's all under the like milk and cereal thing, and we were there like in the first meetings when we all like were speaking to Sat. God, Sat. And like everyone came with their new ideas. It's been like really inspirational seeing like because you've actually made the ideas into real stuff.
Yeah.
And I never actually thought it was, like seeing that happen's been like quite. I've enjoyed like.
I
Seeing
mean,
that
I've always been confident with it and knowing that it would happen, but I think sometimes I could catch myself and I'm like, oh shit, like it is happening and we've been filming stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be uploaded now and people are going to see it, so it's nice. It's been a good journey.
Sick.
It's been difficult sometimes. The most difficult thing has been kind of finding the balance between work and friendships.
Oh, yeah.
Two of the members or teammates I've been really like close friends with, and then like the other two have gotten to know through the filming process and workshops and stuff. But I mean, they call me strict. Because I do run a tight ship now, but it's been hard to kind of know when not to be strict, and then to like kind of like still socialise with them and kind of have that friendship and that understanding, and then be like, okay, work, and then militant mode. So that's been the most difficult.
I was about to say, that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, it really is, because sometimes I'm like, I'm sorry guys for being a bitch, but it's my job.
That's why Chris doesn't hang out with me anymore. Every time I say, do you want to get dinner? And she's like, no.
It's like, no, I'll see you at work. I'll see you in the studio.
So what do you want to order? What do you want to order?
That is basically how our conversations go when we do have dinner.
You want tapas again?
Oh, I love tapas.
Wait, I don't get angry at tapas. I love tapas.
I love tapas. What's the...
What do we argue about?
You argue at each other that you both like tapas. How dare you like tapas? That's my
I like tapas.
No, I do.
When was the
Just the
first time you had
connotations,
tapas?
you want tapas?
When I
No,
was
because
8.
there is no tapas in Kingston anymore. That's what
Which
the
I'm saying
argument
tapas,
is.
I'm like, well,
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. But,
Is that what you meant?
tap
Is that what
ass.
you're going for?
I'm going to tap some ass.
Was not going for that.
Oh,
but
right.
I was about to.
I've been hanging out with Simeon.
I was about to do a striptease. Ready for you to guys get your 2 P's out, 1 P's out. Mate, times are hard. I'll take anything.
I don't think I can carry that chain.
No. 50s?
Probably.
I got 2p in my pocket right now.
Oh, child. It's a payday.
I have a money box just for coppers. I can't remember the last time I cashed it in, but I have a money box just for coppers.
Invite me to the show again. You'll cash it in, honey.
one day I actually collected all the coppers in my house.
Yeah.
Had £150.
Are you serious?
I only managed.
didn't.
Most I ever got to it was 11.
What sort of tip do you live in?
We had 2 big buckets of coins.
When you sit on the sofa, you're just like, whoa.
Don't mind the coppers.
There were some silvies.
Oh,
Yeah, a couple of
We had like 2 big buckets of coins over like 20 years, and we thought, let's count them.
You take it to Sainsbury's and
You
put it in
waited
one of them
20
things.
years. Oh no! Now
Well,
West
that's
have
the
that machine where you can just tip it in and they
Same
count
as
it.
Sainsbury's, got the same.
But ain't one of them you have to pay now. They charges you.
they?
That's the Asda.
They do, yeah. Sainsbury's
Serious?
charge you.
Yeah.
Take some of it off. Yeah,
It's like a bad joke.
no, it's like, I'm coming in with coppers and you're taking it off me. Come on. What is that?
We're just going to take a small percentage.
Can you have my 2 pieces?
Oh, gosh.
Right. Should
All
we
right.
say goodbye?
We really should.
We've said goodbye like 3 times, so I have to stop talking now. So
This could be a 5-hour episode. I'm not going to edit this in time, am I?
Well,
Okay.
on that note, thank you for having me. Everybody check out Queer Essential. Love you guys.
We'd be welcome to have you again.
I would be welcome to come again.
I don't think I actually phrased that right, but I think that's because of this stuff in front of us.
I didn't either, but it's
Yeah.
right. We're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been real nice having you. Thank you very much.
Check out Queer Essential on the 25th of Feb.
Queer Essential.
Is that your intro music?
Ooh, I need to have you on the show. You know how long I've been getting the team to try to
Is it really? That's your intro music?
Yeah, no, not even the music, just like
And
me starting the show.
Every episode, slowly the acapella is
Oh
getting better.
shit! Really? Sorry, I messed it up.
No, you didn't. I need to have you on the show. You need to come next
You know
time.
what? That was an exclusive for the Dog Seduction.
Oh, harmony.
So, we hope you enjoyed Simeon. We hope you watched the show. All I can really physically say is bye.
Okay, just about.
Just about.
See you later. Bye.
Laters.